What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I'll be doing two episodes today. Well, I recorded two episodes today. I won't be posting two episodes today. But, anyways, what I wanted to talk on. And I'm titling this episode Politically Correct because a lot of the stuff today, it's something bad. And you would think that it's not, but it is. Like a lot of things like that's and it's weird that it's like that because you think about it 10 years ago, the things that we're seeing today, like we were getting away with it. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't something that somebody would be like, hey, to be politically correct, that's not how you say things and stuff. And maybe it has something to do with us being a younger age. I don't know. But it's to me, I'm like it just I find it kind of weird, like with some things, like you can't say it, you can't do it, like there's just it's gonna cause some controversy. So anyways, but for an example, like for those that they don't have like a clear idea of what I'm talking about, but the word female. Now when you think about it, you're like, oh, okay, it's just a word, it's just something that's like you don't really see, like, and I feel like to women out there that don't get easily offended, because I feel like that a lot of the stuff that that we get offended by is things that we most likely had discovered on the internet, but it wasn't like somebody had approached them and started telling them about like it's disrespectful to call a woman a female and all that stuff. But I'm like, I'm like, I don't know. I felt like that the mindset that I have, if I was a woman and somebody were to refer to me as a female, I wouldn't trip about it. I'm like, I am a female. Like that's, but I guess like, I can't remember who was talking about that. I seen it somewhere in the video, but they was like the way that I guess like people use it as like to describe like an animal or something, and I'm like, well, you're not an animal, like you're a person and stuff, but I'm saying like if you are a man or a male or something, I don't know, like that's, and then that's the crazy thing about, because I know back in the day I was like, I know I was definitely saying like like, oh well, who was it? I'm like, oh, it's like, well, I don't know, like I'm trying to think, like I can't think of an example, but I'm positive I've described women as a female and stuff, but not in a derogatory way. Like if somebody like asks, I'm just like, oh yeah, they're a female, I guess, like on I don't know like what else to say about that. But yeah, I think who corrected me on it? I remember I heard it somewhere, or I might have seen it on like an Instagram post. I can't remember exactly when and where I seen it, but I just remember I seen it somewhere, or somebody told me about it and was just all like, yeah, calling a woman a female is disrespectful. And I'm like, I just, it's one of those things. I'm like, hey, if that's I respect it, because I wouldn't want somebody to call me all out my name and stuff. I know I'm not gonna get offended by it, because I'm like, being a black entertainer, it's like that's stuff that you have to face. And I just feel like that's like also like a thing that I feel like that's one thing that you should tell yourself, is that as anybody, like whatever you refer to yourself as or call yourself or anything else, like that's who you are. And I feel like that's something like that you should establish that within yourself before you go public with whatever you plan on going public with. So be prepared for people to not accept it, to not accept you, to not accept the lifestyle that you live, and they're going to be politically incorrect about the things that you do or who you are and whatever, and they're going to most likely. And I feel like a person like me, like I'll say it by accident. I don't mean like any bad intentions behind it, but I would like things that I guess will get to a person or make a person upset. And also I was talking about that on the last episode, about like Spanish is racist and things like it was such a weird thing. So yeah, there is a post that was saying how like the word, well, okay, so if for those that don't know too much of the Spanish language, so the word that they use to describe the color black or black, I don't know, some people refer to it as a color, some people being politically correct, the color black, because I seen it in the crayon box when I was a kid, so therefore it is a color, black and white. All right, I don't understand that, but anyways, but in the Spanish language they say negro to describe the color black. If that's how they say it, that's how they say it. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, the correct way of saying it is black. Like, if that's how they speak, that's how they speak. I have no say so in how they speak or what they do. And I feel like with the word like female, there might be some difference with it and things. But when you go to the doctor's office, like, just answer this: you go to a doctor's office and they have male or female on the like paper and things. Like, you're filling out like some paper to describe your problem, but they're all like name, date of birth, what are some other things like illnesses, male or female or other and stuff. Like, you gonna go back, or you gonna go up to the receptionist and be like, can I have a different piece of paper because it has female and I am not going to be referred to as a female? Like, do you understand like how awkward that would be? Because I know if I was a receptionist or a doctor or whoever and they came up to me and said that, I'd be like, so what are you like? Because my thing is like, I feel like that's the type of stuff that will lead me into an argument, is my mouth. I tend to get smart with people, so I can't really help it. Like, if you're gonna come at me like that, it's like I am going to get smart with you. So I'm gonna be like, well, what are you then? Because I don't know. I'm like, they're like, all right, like, dude, you should have just put down other. Because I'm like, I don't know what to tell you and things unless you're a male. But I feel like if you ain't a male, then and you ain't others, then there's only really other, like, just one other option for you. So, but yeah, it's just, it's a crazy thing. But anyways, back to what I was saying about like the like Negro and the Spanish language and all of that. But if a person is like saying it because they're trying to get a reaction out of me, they're gonna have to try somebody else. Like I said, like, best place to go to get a reaction out of some black people is probably like Compton, Harlem. What are some other like black areas down south? That's where you're gonna. But me on the other hand, like, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna probably take you years to get a reaction out of me. I don't mean like a few years. No, I mean like the same length it took, Jeepers Creepers to come back out and stuff. Like, it's gonna take you about 20 something years to get a reaction out of me, especially if you're being racist and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Spanish people, they know about like racism and all of that, and they know that they use that word and stuff. So they probably won't look a black person directly in their face and say like, oh yeah, you the N-word and stuff, because then that's being racist, and then that's gonna cause a reaction, and then it's gonna cause some problems. But anyways, if they're all like, oh yeah, they're speaking Spanish and then they say Negro, I'm just like, I don't know. I said that in the last episode. That I'm gonna probably like laugh and smile because I'm kind of like Peter Griffin in Family Guy when I think it was his Lois, she was saying duty and he started laughing and stuff, and I'm like, that's me when I because they like, that's just, if that's how they use that word, that's how they use that word. So I'm like, you can't get mad at a person for using a word like that. And I feel like a person that doesn't know, like, if they're just all like, oh, that's how they describe things, then that's how they describe things. But I just feel like that people, when they're all like, oh, the politically correct term is, and I'm like, and I don't know, that's the thing where I'm like, people shouldn't take things as disrespect. Just hear me out on it. Hear me out. Like, if a person's like, if they flat out look at you in your face and they're calling you, because I know like the politically correct word for retarded is like mentally challenged or autistic or something like that. Like, that's the politically correct term for saying that. But if it's like me and my friends, we all like joking around, cracking jokes, I say some dumb stuff because I always like, that's what I like doing. I always like saying some dumb stuff around my friends just so I could get a reaction out of them, just so I can laugh about it and just hear what they have to say. But if they are all like, oh man, Tyler, you retarded, bro, like, you need to, I'm not gonna be like, oh, wait a second, the politically correct term is either autistic or mentally challenged, so we're gonna have to do this joke all over. Do you understand? I would have no friends if I was carrying on like that. No friends, because that's the thing, people come from a time and era where that word or any other word, it wasn't a problem. You know, like I mean, you know, and I feel like with the word retarded, like you know that could be a problem with some people and things. Like I now that I feel like that's an exception to the rules because you know you ain't gonna look like an autistic person in their face and say some stuff like that unless you just a downright demon. You know, like that's I'm like yeah, that's some stuff. I'm like I could never do that. I could never do that. Because that's equivalent to looking a black person in the face and calling them the N-word. So it's like, if you saying it amongst friends, then I feel like that's one thing. But I'm like, as that friend, if you know, like, that's, you know, like, they're not saying it with bad intentions, I feel like that you shouldn't look a friend in their face or be in a, wherever, I don't know, a Zoom call, an Xbox Live party, and they say a word that's not politically correct. Like, a friendship, my thing is, a friendship shouldn't be politically correct. A friendship is a friendship. So my thing is like, if y'all are comfortable with each other, anything should go. Anything should go. It shouldn't be no problems. It shouldn't be no arguments. It shouldn't be no politically correct terms. None of that. It should just be a thing where it's like, hey, I'm chill with you. You chill with me. Let's just be good friends, you know, but with each other. You know, we ain't gonna like go out of our way and say things that's not politically correct. And I just feel like that's one way that you respect just those around you is to be politically correct to the people around you. You know, and that's talking to the person that's like, you know, if you have like a certain way of how you say certain words, like you have a different vocabulary than everybody else, then it's like just, you know, if you know about things, then correct yourself. Because I'm like, I've corrected myself numerous times on saying the word female. And so, and it was something where I was like, you know, you bring it up to your parents, and I feel like that's one way to know things is bring it up to your parents and ask them. So like, hey, mom or dad, you know, is calling a woman a female disrespectful? And they're gonna probably, and if they look at you like they're crazy, then that's like the time and era that you were raised in. You were raised in their time and era, so you won't really know these things. But it's like, yeah, when a person goes out of their way to correct you on some stuff like that, then you're gonna be like, man, I thought this was a Netflix commercial. That nerd wallet. I was like, I don't know why I just seen N. And I was just like, why is Netflix or copying Hulu with their colors and stuff? I'm like, Netflix going green, huh? What? I'm like, that doesn't seem right. But anyways, but yeah, back on this politically correct episode. I'm watching wrestling right now, so it's been a while since I did an episode like this. Just know, for the past 17 minutes I've been watching wrestling, but yeah, for the past 12 minutes of how long I've been doing this podcast, I've been looking at the TV. So I'm like, I'm getting good at this. I'm getting good at like multitasking. Yeah, they just showed where the bad wrestler, he lost. So I'm like, I'm getting good at this. Now they showing a commercial for some show that looks really crazy, but I'm like, I might have to watch that because they got Cody Rhodes on there. Cody Rhodes is a wrestler, and I'm like, he's one of and they got Snoop Dogg. What's the show? Go Big show coming soon. I might have to check that show out. But anyways, but yeah, back on the politically correct episode and stuff. But yeah, you know, I feel like that people, you know, a lot of people are diverse. A lot of people say things that they don't mean. And, you know, if you're going to be like cool about it, be cool about it. And I feel like the number one way of being cool about it is to, you know how you get your point across is by befriending the person that says certain things that you know that's not politically correct. Befriend the person like on social media or follow them or whichever. If they follow you back, wait, like don't do it as soon as they, you know, accept the friend request or they follow you back. Wait like a little bit down the road and things. But come across and tell them and things like, but if they continue on talking like that, then that's how they talk. You know, then they instead of them saying woman, they say female. A Spanish person, instead of saying black, they say Negro or whichever. You know, but you don't hear too many Spanish people saying that. But and if it's like a group of friends, and then they're describing you, because even in like old TV shows and stuff, you would hear people say that. Because I remember I was watching the one TV show, the Wayans Brothers, and you don't really hear like that word, like the word retarded, just being thrown around on TV shows or movies. A movie or a TV show, they will make up like curse words before they use the word retarded. I can't remember the last time, and the last time I did hear the word retarded being used in a TV show or a movie or something was when I had watched the Wayans Brothers. But other than that, I've watched a handful of movies, a handful of TV shows. I've a bunch of them, not a handful, like a bunch of them. I've watched like a crap ton of movies and TV shows just throughout the time, ever since the TV show The Wayans Brothers was like a thing. But I haven't heard them use that word in any other movies and stuff, and so that's why I'm like, they in movies and TV shows today, they will make up curse words before they use words like that because they want to be politically correct, and they know that there's people out there that will get offended by that, and that's why I'm like trying to explain to people, you should not get offended by how a person talks. If that's how they talk, that's how they talk. So you can't change the way, and that's what I was explaining or saying in the last episode with this person that speaks Spanish. You can't call a person that speaks Spanish racist. If that's how they talk, that's how they talk. So that's why I'm like, yeah, people with this whole like politically correct trend that's going on right now, it needs to die off a little bit. It seriously needs to die off. Because I know there's going to probably be a person that look at me and be like, okay, well, let's say, because I know there's going to probably be people that say like, oh, well, what if you know an autistic person and they use the word retarded around you? They're not using it around this autistic person. They're using it around me. And if they have a friend that is autistic and they using that word and they're being disrespectful, hold on for a second, because there's something going on wrestling right now. And I did kind of see it trending, and I'd like to just see it real quick, so give me a second. All right, I'm back. They're saying some stuff about like Shaquille O'Neal is gonna be on wrestling. I seen it trending on Twitter, and I was all like, okay, let me check this out real quick. But but yeah, back to what I was saying about the whole politically correct stuff. But yeah, like if you are like with a group of friends, I feel like that it shouldn't really matter about being politically correct. But if you're like out in public, I guess if it's how you talk, then that's how you talk, and there shouldn't be people getting offended by it. And but yeah, just people that get offended by that stuff. So be prepared. Like if you say, and I know that there's probably a lot of like older generation people that would agree and be like, I was out and about one day, and the way I talk is the way I talk, and this person came up and was talking about being politically correct, and I didn't know what they were talking about. And that's I'm telling you, that is going to happen. It will. Like, it's never happened to me, because I'm like, I ain't really like a talkative person out in public. I mean, I am, but I'm like, I don't know, like, the way I talk, I'm like, I guess, like, I'm already, I wouldn't necessarily, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I shouldn't use the word program, like, for myself, but, like, I guess, yeah, in a way I am. I'm not being politically correct with myself, but anyways, but yeah, I'm like, I guess I'm, like, just already, like, self-programmed to know, like, okay, like, this is how people feel. I know I can't say this, I can't do that, but, like, yeah, if me and my friends, if we off up in, like, an Xbox Live, like, party or something, or PlayStation party, whichever, yeah, I'm just like, if I say certain things, if they get offended by it, then I'm just all like, I apologize. I didn't realize I was being offensive, but yeah, there's going to be people that's going to be saying things like that. But anyways, yeah, like I just overall, like, be respectful to those around you and stuff, like, but just, with things that you say that can be thought of as offensive, find some words that are similar to it and stuff, and then use that and things, or come up with some new words. I feel like that's stuff that people don't do anymore. Like, they were coming up with words all the way back in the 1800s, and then all of a sudden they just stopped. I'm like, nah, we need to start coming up with some new words and stuff. So yeah, we need to start doing some things. All right, but anyways, I'll try to help y'all out. You guys need to brainstorm. I'm good at brainstorming, so we gotta come up with some stuff. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. I also have a merch store. Just released some merch. I just released the home collection TMossBoss merch. Some pretty dope merch. I'm using the same font as my Wastelanders merch. So I was, in the future, I was going to do like some Wastelanders TMossBoss collaboration merch. And, yeah, see how that goes. So anyways, I will talk to you guys later though. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.